investing in property can be lucrative, exciting, and a great way to set up a comfortable future. But the problem is, you have to have a solid strategy in place and where the best opportunities sit. Without you doing your due diligence and research, you might just end up as one of the thousands of Aussie investors whose investment properties actually underperform, not reeling them in profits like they should be. Hi everyone, Tuan, founder of Tax, here for another video designed to help you become a better property investor. And in today's video, I'm guiding you through the signs an investment property that's just not cutting the mark. Like most investments, knowing whether your portfolio is performing is all about keeping up with regular audits and reporting. Without glimpsing into what's going on behind the scenes, there's the chance you'll have no idea whether you're really coming out on top at all. It's common for investors to assume their property investment is performing just because it seems to be generating positive cash flow. And while that's great, there may be underlying issues that go unseen and unheard of unless you carry out frequent assessments on your portfolio. Time and time again, we see the same causes pop up for investors who can't seem to work out why their returns aren't what they expect. So, let's dive into the telltale signs your property is most likely underperforming or will in the future. Firstly, a lack of investment strategy will only set you up for failure from the beginning. Without direction or clarity on where you're headed, there's a good chance you'll run into problems along the way that you just won't know how to navigate. That means analyzing and noting down your realistic financial goals, understanding how you're going to meet them, and what kind of backup plan you'll have in place if things don't go as expected. You will also need an exit strategy if your overall plan happens to derail for whatever reason, and be willing to review your results and portfolio frequently. Creating a tailored and tangible strategy also means you remove the risk of investing due to emotional influences. That's because you're simply going off the numbers and making informed decisions about what's a smart investment and what's not. Next, it's important to understand there is more than one way to invest in property. We see cases where setting up a company to then invest in a portfolio of properties can cause more headaches than benefits. But of course, this will also depend on your experience and due diligence. Our recommendation here is to seek advice on the best way to invest for your circumstances. There are a lot of variables these days when it comes to structuring investments and dealing with the market. So it pays to get professional direction on how your income, tax position, financial situation, tax planning, and marital status may all play a part. That's where examining 4 crucial categories will really give you the insight you need to understand whether your property is performing the way it should be. 1. Timing. If you buy at a time when values are actually peaking, your property's price might stagnate for a while, and then might even fall. This doesn't mean you bought at a bad property, but it can affect your ability to generate the equity and cash flow you need to fulfill your strategy. 2. If you pay too much on a property, you may have a few years of zero capital growth to deal with. Again, this can impact how your strategy plays out, so assess the price carefully. 3. Location matters. Some areas give reliable capital growth, others give better cash flow, but are riskier. Some suburbs might simply perform better than others. Know where your investment stands. 4. It might seem obvious, but turning a blind eye to the property itself can cost you big time. If your property isn't in good condition, you should factor in these costs for renovations and the time it takes to do them. If you're thinking, oh geez, I made a mistake, there's still time to rectify a poor investment. And if you're not sure if your investment property is the dud you think it might be, ask yourself whether it's working as you originally planned. In some cases, your property might only need a change in property manager if you've hired someone to handle it for you. In other cases, it could need some renovations and upgrades to make the place more appealing. Unfortunately, it can also mean there are just too many factors working against you, maybe because there wasn't an initial strategy to follow. If this is the case, you may be better off cutting your losses and selling so you can look at finding a more ideal property for your portfolio. After creating a strategy, of course. At the end of the day, treating your investment like a business, backed by all the right strategies and planning in advance, will mean you mitigate many of these risks in the first place. All it takes is careful thinking and strategizing from the outset to stay out of hot water in the long run. And if you're ever unsure, you can always seek additional professional advice from an investment expert. I hope you found this video helpful. Don't forget to hit subscribe and follow our YouTube channel for more useful tips like this, and to keep up to date on our latest content. Until next time.